Did you know Cornwall is home to some of its very own distinct style of pizza? There's a 4 episode television comedy series that has debuted this week exploring this topic. It is called Cheese on Top. It is now streaming on Bell 5 TV. Chris Redmond is the show's director. He's here to talk a little bit about this, a little bit about pizza. Chris, thanks for being here and good morning.
Hey, good morning. Always happy to talk about pizza.
So I've been surprised by this. This is a thing I've heard in a couple different places in the country that they have their own distinct style. I have never heard of Cornwall-style pizza. Explain to us a little bit about what it is.
Well, like the title of the show says, the main distinct characteristic of Cornwall pizza is that they put all the cheese on top. So basically, when you open up a box and they'll tell you it's all dressed, you got to take their word for it.
Yeah.
All the toppings are underneath.
So,
and it's also got really thick crust as well. That's one of the dominant things. It's just very generous as well. There are layers of meat on the bottom. Like I'm talking layers of pepperoni, lots of other toppings if you want that, and then just like a double layer of cheese on top with thick crusts.
it sounds delicious as we head towards lunchtime as well. But what made you kind of want to, what inspired the kind of TV show aspect of this? Why did you want to dig a little bit deeper into this, Chris?
Well, we wanted to do something different. You can do a TV show that's just, let's go to the restaurant and sit and talk to them about how they make their pizzas, the end. Boring. This is like a fun kind of pizza. We wanted to make a fun TV show. So, every episode, we've written a song about the pizza, a different song, depending on what the theme of the episode is. And really, the idea was born from a pizza reviewer who moved to Cornwall a couple of years ago, whose name is Stacey Case. And he's like an old punk rocker from Toronto who moved to Cornwall and just fell in love with Cornwall pizza and how there's 14 different mom and pop shops around Cornwall. Like a small city, only 50,000 people in Cornwall. So that's a really high proportion of independently owned mom and pop shops that all do kind of a similar style pizza. So he got really fascinated by this, about the Greek heritage of it and everything, and wanted to do a show, but came to me to sort of bring another life to it. So I wanted to do something that was more about his journey to make Cornwall pizza famous and all the different stunts we could pull. So that's where I bring the comparison of something like, it's more like Anthony Bourdain meets Jackass. We're doing stunts on the street where he's dressed up as a preacher and he's preaching the good word of letting cheeses into your heart and, crust has risen. Or we're staging a protest on certain streets just to get the word out.
Well, you got to get the comedy in there too. How was it kind of received as you were pulling off some of these public pranks?
With mixed results.
Confusion generally.
But that's part of the fun. One of the things we did, one of the episodes, we decided, let's come up with a mascot. So one of the episodes is all about, we got to come up with a mascot for Cornwall Pizza to try to bring all these pizzerias together. And so we come up with a mascot, and eventually, and the end goal of the episode is to crash the Santa Claus parade in Cornwall, which we did as well. So when you're doing that kind of stuff, you're getting some attention. But honestly, most people were pretty into it. They love this style of pizza in Cornwall, and they want the legend to grow. They want word to get out. And that's really what the point of the show is. We just want to make people fall in love with this really unpretentious style of pizza with a very unpretentious and fun show.
Well, it's funny, too, you mentioned that there's already a text in the text board saying that they miss Cornwall-style pizza, particularly from a particular restaurant here. Was there anything you noticed from the, so many, I guess, mom and pop pizza shops in Cornwall? Was there anything that kind of drove them all together? Just cheese on top? Was there other things? What did you kind of find brought them all together or made them similar?
Yeah, they are doing a style of pizza that, frankly, any big box, pizza store would go out of business immediately doing. It's just too generous. And that's the most common factor. It's like, how much can we give you? And the margins seem like they must be so thin because the pizza's not. The pizza's so thick. And it's in that tradition of being able to feed a whole family with a single pizza. 1 or 2 slices and you're done. I don't care how big of a guy you are. These. So if anything, the similarity is, of course, cheese on top. But then there's always a bit of a competition, I think, of who's got the thickest pie out there.
Or the best sauce, or what have you. I could see how that could kind of turn into some competition. The show premiered last week, and if people want to read more, they can go to ctvnewsottawa.ca. But what has the reception and feedback been like so far, Chris?
Oh, it's been so positive. We had a big premiere in Cornwall on Thursday where we're showing this to people for the first time, and the reactions were like really impressive because people have felt like this is like a little hometown secret. I think they're proud of it. They want to talk to people about it, but they know no one's really heard about it. So I think to see it represented on screen was, borderline even emotional for some people to really feel like, oh my God, we're doing it. You're not just like talking about it, but you're kind of embracing it and having fun with it in a way that could actually catch on. So people have been really positive. I mean, Stacey himself held a pizza eating contest the next day in Cornwall to see how fast people could eat a single slice. 2 people puked while doing it. That was filmed. So if enough people watch this, they got some really great stuff to look forward to in season 2, I think, because it's only growing, the legend of Cornwall pizza.
Perhaps a preview of Nathan's hot dog eating contest on July the 4th, but we'll leave it there. Chris, thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I hope the rest of the release goes well.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks so much. And people can just search the word Cheese on Top on Bell, and they can find the show.
Beautiful. Chris Redmond is the director of Cheese on Top, as he just mentioned, that has premiered this week. Taking a look at Cornwall-style pizza. To get a couple of texts here on that. We got to take a break for the news, though. We'll come back.
In terms of its pizza, I guess maybe there's more of it, or the crust is extra thick, because there are places all over Ottawa, all over Brockville, where if you order a pizza, the cheese is on top. There's a significant layer of toppings underneath the cheese.
You fact-checking their company series? I just wanted to check this.
Now, this is the one big difference, though, is that maybe there's a difference in crust thickness, because the indication that we had was that this crust is very thick. Otherwise, okay, and granted, Cornwall has a very, very high number of mom and pop pizza
That's what
shops.
I thought was interesting.
I think may be the one that gives it that extra distinguishing edge. But I'm thinking maybe this is more of it's more of an Eastern Ontario pizza.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Not just specifically to Cornwall here.
That said, I mean, in terms of the amount of quantity that's actually included with this pizza, as the gentleman said, it's just like if you eat 1 or 2 slices of Cornwall-style pizza, you're done. And I'm thinking, challenge accepted.
Yeah, that's generally.
If I'm not eating half of a large pizza, I don't think that I've eaten enough pizza.
If you've ever made your own homemade pizza at all, that's generally what it is for me too. Like I only need like 2 slices of that because I've absolutely, filled it up with absolutely everything else, as many toppings, as many cheese as possible.
An entire pepperoni layer where the pepperoni is roughly about 2 millimeters thick.
And I used to work at a pizza shop. It was actually like my last job within the small town I grew up in before I moved to Ottawa. And I just remember my dad always coming in late at the time. He would come in late before closing when he knew I was working, because he wanted me to make him a special slice, quote unquote, and it's exactly what we're describing here. Can you just load all the toppings up and put as much cheese as possible?
Whatever's left, just pile it on top of it, right?
There is regional differences, though. What I found, and I haven't had Cornwall pizza, so I'm not quite sure, but when I lived in Nova Scotia, Truro pizza, or I guess they call it Pictou County pizza, is kind of different. They have their own distinctive dark sauce. They also use Brothers pepperoni, which is pretty big down there as well. But it seems to be more the sauce that makes it the kind of regional, I guess, feel and taste. Have you heard of like different
I have not heard of it. I have a bit
regional style pizzas?
I have a bit of a controversial opinion here.
I'm shocked, Holski.
Well, because I've never had Campbellford pizza. I'm going to bring this up. The cities of it's just like, because I've been extensively in both of them. The communities of Kingston and Belleville. Now I can't judge all of them. I don't know what it's like, say, in Oshawa or in Cobourg. But, and granted, Campbellford is a bit far away from the 401 corridor, and I do not have an opinion on Peterborough because I've not been in that zone. But
shout out to Northumberland County here, though, anyway.
Yeah, but that 401 stretch in between Toronto and Brockville, because Brockville, by the way, I'm not including you in this group. Brockville you're in the Eastern Ontario zone. You're grouped in with Cornwall and Ottawa, as far as I'm concerned. But that area in between Toronto and Brockville and the 401 is like a pizza desert. If anybody wants to
like no
disagree
pizza
with me,
places, you mean?
Yeah, it's just like if you want to talk about it's just like if you want to tell me about a top tier pizza place in any city along the 401 corridor, then please reach out and say so, because what I remember about being in Belleville is that there weren't any good pizza places when I lived there, and all I hear from my friends in Kingston is that there aren't any good pizza places there. So they'll travel to Brockville, or they'll travel to Cornwall, or they'll travel to Ottawa to get a good pie. Now, of course, people still get pizza within those communities, because even a bad to mediocre pizza
is good.
Or a
pizza.
chain pizza is good pizza. That's reality. No one's going to turn their news up on pizza.
Well, it's exactly what I was going to bring up. Is it more kind of chains there? And what's your favorite chain pizza? Because I love a good mom and pop pizza, but is there a particular chain that you like, or are you kind
who had its outstanding pizza in Belleville actually wasn't. This is going to sound because I know a lot of people probably have their own thoughts about this, but
they do surprisingly looking at the text board. But anyway,
but the pizza that was unique to the Loyalist College cafeteria while I was there was fantastic.
They knew.
And
I'm talking
about levels above. I'm talking about levels above what you would get from I think any other pizza outlet. And it's fine. I think that what happened is that Domino's moved into town in Canada roughly a few years ago, and in terms of cheaper pizzas that you buy in Canada, I think everybody had to step their game up when that happened. But
to meet the level that they're at, even for cheap pizza.
But just by comparison, by the time you get to Brockville, even when it used to have a Pizza Hut for a while, which was a chain, that Pizza Hut was a step above, I think, of a lot of other stuff. I mean, it competed with what was in a very good pizza town that has the likes of, say, Luna Pizzeria or Thousand Islands Pizzeria. I mean, there was something changes if you're heading along the 401 between Kingston and Brockville, where suddenly you're going from, okay, there's no good pizza here, to all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of great pizza in the city.
This show also kind of featuring, profiling, basically what would amount to a pizza critic, right? I'm envisioning this in your future. Based on this conversation, you should be starting your own pizza blog.
Well, this is the one big caveat on top of this, right? Is that I have not had any wood-fired pizza in Kingston or Belleville, and I bring this up because I consider wood-fired pizza, and you're and it's like, do I call this normal or regular or traditional pizza? An electric pizza oven pizza, I think, is something different entirely from a wood-fired pizza oven.
But and I know there's a place up in Westboro I can't think of right now, but also the Grand is wood fired as well, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. There are some absolute geniuses to the point that when it comes to wood fired pizza in Ottawa, to the point that one of them is actually called Pizza Nerds.
I haven't been there yet. Good.
Yeah, outstanding. But where it's just like
see what I mean? You already got this down.
Yeah. But it's the thing where it's just like if I'm going to it's just like there are two types of pizza places. It's the one that you order up, you call on, and you say these are the toppings that I want on this. Versus going to a place where it's a wood-fired oven and they say these are the pizzas that we serve. Maybe there are some substitutions that are allowed on top of this. They're a little bit more artisan style. There's nothing wrong with an artisan pizza. In fact, they are great. But I consider it to be an entirely separate category from heading to whether you're going to, say, Benici's here in Ottawa, or Colonnade, or all of the more traditional style pizza joints that Ottawa has, because there are a lot of good ones here if you like that style of pizza.
Well, this conversation is apparently drawing some other people that want to weigh in on this. One thing, RR here says, do any Ottawa shops list a Cornwall pizza? I don't think so. So kind of to your point of, is it really, that distinct from other places? But like you say, Eastern Ontario, it could fall into that category as well. Don from Ottawa says, what is this nonsense with pizza toppings under the cheese? Toppings in quotes, of course.
A lot of people hate that.
They're called toppings for a reason. They go on top, just what everyone else wants. Soggy toppings. This is the age-old debate. What comes first? The cheese or the toppings? Chris?
A lot of people like crispy or pepperoni on top, and some Ottawa shops have made adjustments towards that. There are some places where you can get Gabriel's. They have their double pepperoni, their Sense-style pizza, which is brilliant in its simplicity. It's a little taste of both.
Truly is. And surprisingly, because obviously not growing up in Ottawa, I had no experience with Gabriel's until I moved here. And it's only been in recent years that they're kind of one of my tops. I know they're a chain, but they're also one of my tops and have an advertiser on this station. But
the thing is, this is what I'll say about,
it's really good.
Well, this is what I'll say about Gabriel's, right? It's like, find me a better local chain anywhere.
Yeah.
When it comes to pizza quality, and it's just like you can argue and say, okay, this specific spot. It's just like, and I want to go beyond, because there are some pizzerias obviously in Ottawa that do have more in one location, but they don't have the number that Gabriel has, for example.
Of course. It's
just like, find me a chain of that size in any Canadian city that is as good as Gabriel. I don't think you can.
Just shout out to Gabriel's. You owe me $10 for the last segment. But anyway, take it from me. It says, Dan here says, take it from me. There's no place in Ottawa except for possibly Louise Pizzeria that is close to Cornwall. When I order a small from Riverside, this was following up on an earlier text saying, he hasn't had pizza since he left Cornwall that was as good as what he got at Riverside restaurants. He says he will still go down there and even ask them to partially cook one so he can put it in the freezer when he comes back here. But it says I can only eat one piece. That's how thick they are. So
wow. Okay. So maybe it must be
something
super
to
thick.
be said about I guess.
So there's your difference maker.
It seems like it's a mix between like the Chicago deep dish and some other ones.
You know what? Why not go on a tour, right? I mean, here's what you do. You say that over the course of a day, you're going to eat. Now, over an entire day, you're going to eat the equivalent of a large pizza. So 8 slices. And what you do is you divide up. You go around the pizza triangle. You're around in Eastern Ontario, where you start in Ottawa, you go down to Cornwall, you go to Brockville, and you come back here, and you have 8 slices gradually over the course of that day. Why not?
To me, that just sounds like a good Friday night. I don't know about you, but another one here. Also, I think this is Jennifer says, also like Western Quebec pizza. I would hedge a bet that Billy T's at Shawville Fair beats Cornwall pizza.
Oh.
I didn't even know. Western Quebec also apparently has its own. It's interesting to see, right, that there's regional kind of pickups for all this, right? Some people do things a little bit differently, and it draws people's attention, obviously.
But it's just like, so does Kingston deserve a trip? I mean, as part of that,
it always deserves a trip. It is I love Kingston. Wonderful, beautiful city.
I love Kingston. Kingston is a fantastic city. It has one of my favorite downtowns anywhere. But if you're looking to try to find a slice of pizza in that downtown, I don't think it's going to go very well.
Another way, I will say, I actually did have an experience with that a couple of years ago when I was just staying in Kingston. Dad was dealing with health stuff. But
so much great food there. No,
but I couldn't find a pizza spot. No, to your point, pizza? We were trying to get some pizza. Another shout out here, I guess, to what text says here. I have to say the best pizza in Ottawa is Louise on MacArthur. So I haven't tried. Have you? There's like 3 texts here that are saying we need to try Louise on MacArthur.
Is this Louise or Louise?
Oh God, that could be an autocorrect for everybody. It's got to be Louise.
I believe I've had Louise. Is there an E on the end or not?
It just says Louise, as in like the female name.
Okay,
that
Louise
could also be that could also be some autocorrect action happening here. But I can't remember. What did you say your go-to was here?
So I said Louis's Pizzeria. Oh man.
Yeah, Louise. Yeah. Louise, like Louis. Okay.
Yes.
It's just everybody's
a lot of people love that spot.
That's why I thought there's this new place that I've never heard of. But anyway,
I have not had theirs yet. My favorite pizza place is actually it's gone now. It was the Bella Vista restaurant. It's been replaced with a Neapolitan spot, which I have not given it a try yet, and I feel like I owe giving the new place a try. I can't remember the name of what it is now, but Bella Vista is gone now.
How long has it been gone?
I think roughly about 1.5 years now.
Oh, wow.
It's like the new place is getting good reviews. It's a different style, and I think it's probably worth a shot eventually. But again, my favorite pie is gone. I think my favorite right now, though, is Benici. Just very, very good.
Okay.
There are a couple around Nepean that I think are really good. Pizzalicious, which serves an Halal-style pizza, which means if you're getting bacon, you're getting a different kind of bacon. You're getting a different kind of pepperoni and a lot of and it's not as thick as some other places that I'd go to, but the overall pizza and what they use on it is delicious. It's so good. It lives up to that Pizzalicious name.
Pizzalicious, right?
Yes. It's just like as I try to find some new spots.
Well, they just keep coming here for real, and everybody kind of correcting me on Louise on MacArthur. That makes a lot more sense the way that is. But was just looking at some autocorrect text, so I'm glad. Let me see here. Martin says. Oh, let me see here. It says, easy make pizza sauce, chopped Roma tomatoes and mushrooms in a pot, olive oil, fresh garlic, add some red wine, Italian spices, half a can of tomato paste.
That's homemade, yeah.
Simmer for half an hour. Try capicola ham instead of pepperoni as one of your toppings. Test up to you. Well, if you don't want to go out because of the heat today, maybe, I guess, turn
Well, it's the opposite effect. You're going to have more people taking out over the next few days because it's so hot. And
some good tips.
Hey, it's just like my sympathies, of course, because over the next few days, particularly at the end of the week and on Canada Day, when people may not be, you got to think the takeout goes up on a holiday. Look, it is on Wednesday. It's going to be 34 degrees, humidex probably dipping into close to the mid 40s, and you're gonna have people standing around pizza ovens in those shops, and best of luck, of course, to everybody's involved in that.
Well,
everybody loves pizza. You can tell how much people appreciate the hard work that's being done in those places.
Well, yeah, no, and as I said, it was like one of my many hats that I've worn over the years, but this would be like 20 years ago now. But yeah, I just remember when you had nights like this, and it was so busy because everybody's calling it. the moment when you're able to turn that oven off is just like, oh my God, we can all breathe again. You know what I mean? Just get some cool air in here. Lisa says Big Bob's Pizza in Kingston if you're heading to Kingston.
Okay, so there's
Big Bob's.
There's a suggestion. Okay.
And Angela is asking us to make John Krupe make a road trip assignment for everybody here. Chris, Austin, everybody at CTV for a road trip. That's a one-tag trip right there,
we're doing all these
right?
one-tag trips right now to tell you about what's going on in these communities, but we could do one for pizza.
Apparently we can, based on all these texts, but we'll leave it there. Chris, thank you for being here. Chris hosting Ottawa Now with for Christy Cameron coming up this afternoon from 2 until 6. You can hear him then. Right now, though, we need to take a break, catch up on some ads. We'll come back, perhaps get to some more texts and wrap up the show here. This is the Monday edition of Ottawa at Work.